Okay, so let's move on to some more characteristics of smooth muscle. Smooth muscle, kind of the a big difference between smooth muscle and skeletal muscle is that smooth muscle does not have sarcomeres. Okay, it does still have actin and myosin. It's just that the arrangement of actin and myosin is not that sort of repeating linear arrangement that we see in the sarcomeres in the skeletal muscle. Okay, so we have actin and myosin. They're arranged obliquely. So you do still get contraction from that action, from the actin and myosin sliding past each other, but it's just not as uniform. Additionally, the molecular events of muscle contraction are completely different in smooth muscle. It's a completely different like signal transduction cascade. There's no troponin, no tropomyosin, okay? And then I also just want to point out, remember that the sarcomeres were what was responsible for the striated appearance in skeletal muscle. In smooth muscle, since we don't have those uniform sarcomeres, we're not going to have that striated appearance. Okay. Okay, last slide for the most part about smooth muscle is that smooth muscle contractions are long lasting. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what we call muscle twitches. So a muscle twitch is a response in a muscle cell to a single action potential. Okay, and you're looking at a graph of the tension, the force created by the muscle over time, right? So if you look at skeletal muscle here in red, we have an action potential. That response to the action potential is to contract and then relax within less than half a second, okay? Cardiac muscle twitches are a little bit longer. But if you look at smooth muscle twitches, they last pretty long. So a smooth muscle twitch can last several seconds, as shown in this figure here. Okay. Finally, let's just close by summarizing smooth muscle characteristics. Okay, first of all, smooth muscle is very variable. Okay, so not a lot of generalizations we can make about smooth muscle. Smooth muscle can be single unit or multi-unit. Smooth muscle does not have sarcomeres. Smooth muscle has slower contractions than skeletal or cardiac muscle. And finally, I didn't really emphasize this in the slides, but smooth muscle can be regulated by hormones, paracrines, and neurotransmitters. So if you think about when we talked about the endocrine system, some of those hormones were targeting organs, smooth muscle throughout the body. So smooth muscle is going to be responsive to that. Paracrines is also going to respond to paracrines, so signaling molecules that come from nearby cells. And it's going to respond to neurotransmitters. So remember, our autonomic nervous system is going to regulate smooth muscle. And that's in contrast to skeletal muscle, where those muscles are only regulated by the somatic motor system. So only motor neurons from the somatic motor system, which means that skeletal muscle is only going to respond to neurotransmitters.